Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, News Jester. My name is Junior. Today, let's take a look at the Star Wars Black Series Jedi Master Soul. So, this is one of the Black Series Jedi that I decided to go ahead and continue collecting for the Black Series. Um, I have established my collection for the Black Series, but only for the Jedi's. I'm not sure about particular other characters. Um, but yeah, so I realized I thought I had him already, but I think that was on the vintage collection. I have him. Um, and I think I got him at currently on sale on Amazon. Today is the 29th of March for $14. So for these Jedi's, I really do need to figure out how to do these robes better, because maybe make it tighter, because they just look so poofy. So let me just take the robe out. By the way, the robes are stitched in the back, so I still don't understand why it is that way. Wow, really nice. This gold really stands out a lot. Let me go ahead and zoom in on the face really quick, because I really need to talk about that one. All right, so here's the face of Soul, and I don't know. I'm not sure they actually captured the portrait of the actor. I think it's too bland for me, and I think it has something to do with Asian faces. The Korean face has a lot of very um how would I put it? It's not very curvy. It's kind of like plain, as in like planar. It doesn't have the curve. Like if you look here on the side here, when you're looking at the cheeks, it's almost like straight down instead of moving curving inward. And then of course the eye features is more shallower. There's no distinctive curvature of the orbital, the orb for the eyes. And his mouth is also very thin. He's like thin lipped, so it's not full bodied. And those types of feature makes it really hard for a sculptor to really capture a face. But I will say this though, I don't know how these jowls, these cheek jowls that he has here, that's really well done, because it adds to the age of the character. And I feel like when I saw the actor here, because I watched Squid Game and I saw him on Acolyte, I felt like he had aged a lot between the two. And I don't know how long it took in between years, the Squid Game and the Acolyte, but it seemed like he had aged a lot, and this is well captured over here. Also, I kind of feel like he had a lot more wrinkles going on, but I'm not really seeing that on the face itself. This will be a nice comparison once the other Jedi that I'm waiting for comes in, because I'm also not happy with her portrait on the Black Series, which is the reason why I didn't really initially want to get it. I feel like also the choice of paint application doesn't really help, because again, the paint application on this one is bland. There's not a lot of distinctive tones of color going on in this face. It's very subtle. You can see a little bit here, around here on the cheeks, and even maybe on the bridge of the nose, or maybe I'm just projecting. I'm not entirely sure there is. Anyway, so I'm just gonna bring out the vintage collection over here. It uses the same sculpt. They just downsized the whole thing. But for some reason, I feel like the vintage collection is more successful than the Black Series, which is weird, because I know it's the same sculpt. But maybe because the area of the vintage collection is so small that I'm not able to discern too much. Like example, around the eyes. The eye seems more successful here than this one. I think the the border that they put around the eyes and the eyelids is making the eyes a lot more smaller than I feel like it should be. That's weird. Just weird. I feel that way, but who knows? I'll look at the guy's face again and see if the my opinion changes. But here's a close up of the belt. Belt looks really nice. Got all that detail and everything. It's got the socket here for the lightsaber to attach to. The nice bright gold color on the bracers, really nice. Really pops. There's even gold here as well. Yeah, yeah, pretty happy with how this whole thing turned out. Let me go ahead and switch out. Um, all right, let's take a look at the articulation on the head. As expected, there really isn't any kind of upward movement on the head. The hair is just in the way a little bit. It's like a really bit going down, but luckily we do have a ball joint here at the bottom of the neck too that would add a little bit to the movement, as you can see, but so little. What can I say? There's no like side to side waggle over here the head. There is a twist that you can do if you want. That would help, I guess. In terms of the articulation on the shoulder, not a problem going up. Very similar to the robe that Jackie has. Very pliable rubber. But I did notice that this one, unlike Jackie over here, where her robe is actually a secondary piece on top of the tunic, on this one, for some reason, they did it differently, where the soft rubber of the robe actually is part of the inner tunic sculpture. I don't know why they did that, but that's how they decided to do. As for the elbow, slightly above 90, slightly, maybe like instead of 90 degrees, I would say it's 95 degrees. We do have an elbow swivel that goes all around. There is nothing on the gauntlet. There is a wrist swivel, and the articulation on the wrist is an up and down motion, so that's good. You can kind of pull it out a little bit on its joint and have it have a little bit more range. As for the waist articulation, it's on a ball joint, so you do have enough range to move around. Again, I don't know what it is with the Star Wars and how they designed their waist ball joint, because for some reason the forward movement always is not a lot more in the back. I don't know why. And as for the hip leg articulation, of course it goes up to 90. Well done. Not quite 90 going out, and just a little bit on the backwards, maybe I would say 45-degree. It does have a thigh swivel, as any Hasbro figure has. I'm just going to count that as a 90-degree turn on the knee. It does have a swivel on the knee as well. Nothing on the boot. As for the ankle going up, very slight. It's more successful the ankle going down, and of course it has an ankle rocker. I did forget to show off the lightsaber really quickly over here. It's kind of boring and bland, these Old Republic style. The light is actually detachable from the hilt, as we know from the Marvel Legends, which I really don't like to do, because the peg on this translucent or transparent what would you call this, the actual light itself is very thin. I don't like to do it. I prefer it more with how they do it on the vintage collection, where it's just one piece, and because it's one piece, it's thicker. There isn't no thin part of the joint there, so it's much more stable, not a problem. And then they include a secondary hilt without the whole thing itself. That's what I would prefer. This is so scary for me every time. And of course, you have the problem that you might lose this as well. As for the robe, I guess I'm gonna have to keep on messing around with it, but let me put it back onto him. The way I do these robes now, I'm trying to see this part right here where it attaches along the length. I want that to be as close as possible to the actual figure. And I think that sort of helps a little bit, but and I'm thinking like maybe making this tight so that you see this part. I think that's the only way this is going to be successful. And then of course this thing needs to be wired so that it can. And then this one, I'm gonna have to watch the show to see this a little bit more. But I'm really happy with how this turns out. Now I'm getting more and more of the collection of the Jedi's from the actual show. Who else is coming? The Wookiee Jedi's coming. The one from the Matrix is coming, and then the one from the actual Council is coming as well. So, as for value, let's see. As for value, I'm kind of hesitating because of the face. I need to study it a little bit more. I really feel like they didn't capture the face of the actor here as much, but I understand that sometimes it's hard to capture these types of faces unless you have really distinctive um, areas that you can latch onto to sculpt on the face. It's really hard to do. Children's faces are always hard to do. Elderly faces are really really easy because they have all those wrinkles, all those planes that you can copy down and all that stuff. But yeah, anyway, so base price 10 equaling to, oh, so that's what would change the value. So you know how my value is always averaging at around 12, more than satisfactory, getting more than what I paid for. Because I got this for a lower price. I believe I got this on sale on Amazon from their spring deal at around $14 instead of 22. I'll go ahead and ratchet up the value to, I'm gonna say 13. If I had gotten this at 24 or the original price, then I would probably put this at around 11 because I'm not too happy with the face. But it's the standard Hasbro Star Wars, and because of the lower price deal that I got, I would value this at 13. It's $14 for a 6-inch Hasbro Star Wars with all the detail and usual paint application and the robes and everything. That is a really really good deal to go and get. And that's the only reason why I started getting these, because I got him at 14, I got her at 17, the Wookiee I got at 31, the Jedi Master and the Council I just got lucky on a bid and got at 16. So I just started buying them and saying, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and continue my collection with the Black Series on the Jedi. So anyway, so that's it for my review of Jedi Master Soul, and I'll keep on reviewing. I have a few more reviews of Jedis coming up really soon. I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.